Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome. It is time for Naturally Inspired Radio. Good morning. So here in northern Colorado last night, we had some power outage. Remember when I was telling you, they got the red flag warning on this wind, and there was no wind, and it ruined my day. Well, it didn't ruin my day, but it made me choose differently for my day because I thought we were going to have all this wind, and I didn't want to run outside, blah, 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 right? No wind, right? Well, we got some wind last night. Took our power out for a few hours. And so that was kind of crazy, just no power. And it was actually kind of nice, just quiet, but so dark. I forget how dark it gets when the power goes out in the country, right? Because we don't have very close neighbors, but still you get that light pollution from neighbors and the lights that are on the road and stuff, and all the power was out. So it was super, super dark, and you kind of forget that, that you've got that light pollution out here in the country. But anyway, we were up and back and running later in the evening, and so whoopsie. I was over here saying, now wind, and boy, we got some wind. I'm going to be chasing, I'm going to have to go retrieve some cushions and probably a couple chairs and whatnot that are out in the field later today. I hope your week is going great. There's lots to talk about today. Again, there's never a shortage of things to talk about, right? Trump had his speech last night, and I felt like it was kind of a nothing burger. It was kind of like, don't get me wrong, there's some cool stuff, like he's going to give some money to the military. That's cool, right? The warrior rebate or what have you. But, there was a lot of, I think this is what happens, right? Like people talk and you're like, oh my gosh, he's going to announce war. Possibly, or, with Venezuela, or it's like we thought there was bigger announcements, I guess. And so it fell kind of flat because it's like, okay, those are cool. But also I thought there was and I'm grateful that that wasn't the announcement. But you know what I'm saying? So this just ties directly into what I want to talk about today, about our culture shaping topic, if you will. So a couple days ago, Candace Owens meets with Erica Kirk, right? And she goes, armed with her list of questions. Because if you haven't been watching Candace, if you've been blowing her off and thinking, oh, she's crazy, she's completely nuts, she's completely lost the thread, then you probably haven't been watching her, because she had a lot of reasonable questions. Now, I didn't know what the answers to those questions were. And I'm just watching it objectively, okay, well, that's a good question. Well, that's pretty strange, right? Everybody's just freaking out about what she's talking about. And it was wild to me because I was watching her and listening to her. She's asking questions. She's not assuming. She's saying, this is pretty strange because we have these flight patterns here, and then they stopped here and they did this. And so I've got some questions about this. And then what about that? She really was she's asking questions, okay? Investigating. But then I would see the rhetoric online, and there was she said this, she accused them of that, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, wow, that's not what I heard. It's not what I heard. So I don't know, maybe we have different filters, I don't know. But so anyway, I hear that she goes and she sits down with Erica Kirk, right? And they have a discussion, and we don't hear anything, for hours, and the internet's going crazy. Oh, what if they kill her, and blah, 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 and la, 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 la. It was just don't go, they're going to shoot you dead. And, well, that would be pretty weird if they did that, because then everybody would know that they did it, right? But she finally shows up, after 4.5 hours. She's like, we had a great talk. It was very productive. I'm exhausted. I'm going to do a show tomorrow. I can't wait to tell you guys what I've learned, kind of thing. And so then she does a show. Let's watch just the intro to this. This is Candace Owens.
Okay, you guys are crazy. You guys are absolutely crazy. The amount of people who attacked me for sending out a tweet being like, hey, I'm good, I'm alive. We had a very productive conversation. And they were like, she got the call. She got the call. She's betrayed us. She's doing something else. I can't believe it. This has all just been a show. Calm down, okay? What do you think happened? Well, Erica said, stop. And then I was frozen for 4 hours and 30 minutes, just as they just put all of these talking points into my head. That is not what happened. I keep telling you guys, I am not.
So she seems relieved to me. This was the first show after she met with Erica Kirk, right? She seems relieved to me because this is not an angry mob witch hunt. It's an investigation. Candace is truly trying to find out what happened to Charlie Kirk. And I don't know about you, but I'd be relieved if I met with his wife and I started learning things and how it was all fitting together, and that she is not part of it, and that this is what she knows. That's what if you truly care for somebody, right? And you find out the worst is not true, it's relieving. And also, when you're investigating things, well, then you start checking things off your list. Okay, well, that's resolved. Okay, well, that's resolved. Okay, we figured that out. What's left? Right? What's left to investigate? And so to me, it feels like to me like she's a bit relieved because a lot of her like questions got answered in a satisfactory way. Not all of them. Not all of them. She still has a number of questions to be answered. Let her, right? Let her investigate. This is what she's doing. So I'm not talking about this because I'm like the big defender of Candace. There's a bigger topic here. And I think we all have to really keep ourselves in check here. The topic I really want to talk about is why we are so tribal when it comes to, things that are going on in the news, stories that are going on, podcasters. Why are we so freaking tribal about this stuff? So it's very interesting to me because a lot of people who've been watching Candace, they're now turning on her. Oh, that's, I never thought you would turn. And these are mild comments here that I want to share with you. Some screenshots I just pulled off of her website or her YouTube. I used to come for the content, but now I come for the comments. Nah, girl, we are not bots attacking you. We are fans who are disappointed in your presentation since meeting Erica. Your entire tune has changed. Has it? Or has the information developed? Has the information developed? So when do we get to hear Erica's explanation for shilling for Israel, ignoring the Doge audits, shaming people? Okay, next slide here. More. The elephant in the room is still Erica. Can you please address these? So in current news, okay, it just goes on and on. The spirit of this show is, I no longer want to watch it. The spirit of the show's totally changed. This is so embarrassing. This is no way you think that our pushback is from botted activity from the feds. Please read the room, Candace. So suddenly it's not Erica, not TPUSA, not Israel. Suddenly, okay. These were mild ones. I purposefully picked the mild ones. There were many other ones that were like, you're a traitor, basically. You flipped. They flipped you. So I guess what my question is here is like, if you call yourself a truther, if you call yourself someone who's red-pilled, then you got to truly want to find the truth out. You can't just want to be entertained. And see, that's what's going on here. People want to be entertained. And they're following the plot line, and they're bonding with other people that are following the plot line. And when somebody comes in and changes the plot line even a little bit, and they don't like it. They don't want the plot line to change because, well, there's a number of reasons for that. And we're going to talk about them. It's really important that we understand this because we're all susceptible to it. We are all susceptible to this, right? We think we've got something figured out. We are on team blah, blah, blah. And then, people come in. I'm seeing it with Trump. I really haven't changed my point of view on Trump. And I think everybody should kind of feel this way. We don't know him. So the things that we have to go on are policy. How's policy shaping up? The reason why we've become so incredibly divided in politics is because of our emotions. And because left and right both know we want to win votes, you got to evoke emotion. You've got to have it. The problem is, it does a lot of damage to you, to me, to our citizenry, and how we unite. And it's important that we stay united for our culture. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back. This is Naturally Inspired Radio.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen.
The best way to support this show is go to naturallyinspiredstore.com, become a member. So many benefits to getting into the Naturally Inspired community. You can get started for as low as $50. That will give you a lifetime membership to shopping on our partnered product line, 15% off of all retail pricing. You get to get into the Naturally Inspired community, my text line, the weekly wellness workshop, and so much more. So head on over there today. We've got protocols available for you. We've got incredible buy one, get one deals on right now. And I don't know, some people have been texting me, how long will those be on? I would grab them up fast because they're going to be available as long as supplies last, or probably till the end of the month. Whatever comes first while supplies last. So if you're thinking about it, don't wait. Jump on it today. You can go to naturallyinspiredstore.com and get it all taken care of there. Place your order and come into the Naturally Inspired community. Okay, so this tribal thing that I've noticed, it gets pretty crazy. When we get new information, well, then we have to change, right? We have to talk about now this new information, and we've got new investigating to do. And so I think people are having a hard time with that. There were a lot of things that Candace asked that she got satisfactory answers to, and that makes perfect sense. So why is it so hard? Why are people accusing her of being a shill? And again, I have to say, this was never it shouldn't have been. It's not about a witch hunt. It's an investigation. You go where the clues take you. So why does it happen? Why do we get tribal? Why do we, we're unwilling to accept resolution? It's like we want there to be a problem. And I think one of the reasons is because of people aren't really looking for truth so much as they are looking for entertainment. And that's fine if you can compartmentalize and understand that this is entertainment. Where it gets dicey is the fact that it actually impacts reality, our reality. Right? And so that's where it gets really disruptive and sometimes even dangerous, because we can push something in the wrong direction away from truth. And then, of course, people get hurt, you know? So why do we do it? Well, here's a few reasons. I did some research on this. People become tribal and resistant to truth when new information threatens the bond that holds the group together. So at that moment, belonging feels safer than accuracy. And this is a deeply human pattern. It's biological, it's psychological, and it's cultural. So here's what happens under the surface. Number one, belonging is a survival instinct, and the human brain evolved to prioritize group safety over objective truth. Being expelled from a tribe once meant death. And so the nervous system still treats disagreement as danger. Truth that threatens group cohesion triggers fear, not curiosity. So the brain defends the tribe reflexively. Number two, identity fusion replaces independent thought. So when beliefs become tied to identity, challenging the belief feels like a personal attack. If this is wrong, who am I? Right? People defend self rather than evaluate facts. This is why facts often fail to persuade, because identity overrides evidence. Now, this is not just a Candace thing, obviously, right? We're seeing it kind of this splintering of MAGA. We saw a splintering of Maha, right? Because people tie their identity to a certain set of beliefs and they really can't let go of it. Even when new information is presented, it's like, well, I really shouldn't be cheering that on. Goes against my belief systems, but this is my identity. I think that's why we have so many rhinos, right? And people that still, even though they're rhinos, people still championing. What is wrong with me? They champion the cause for the Republican Party. It's like one time I went to a Republican meeting and I'm like, I do not belong here. Like, obviously I have very conservative views. I have conservative views and I know what my values are. And I know, I believe in freedom, but I sat at that Republican meeting and thought, these people do not reflect the things that I believe. Nobody's priority in that room was health, let me tell you. They could care less. And so I didn't fit in there. What am I? I don't know. I don't know anymore because the groups that are available, they don't fit for me. So, why would I continue to, be in support of something wholeheartedly? Because many people have tied their identity to that and they really don't know who they are without that identity and being able to say, yes, I'm this. So the tribe provides emotional regulation too. So groups offer validation. They offer shared outrage. They offer moral certainty. So questioning the group removes emotional scaffolding. Truth feels destabilizing when it disrupts emotional safety. Number 4, social bonding is often built on a shared story. So many tribes form around a common enemy. They form a shared grievance, a unifying narrative. When the truth complicates that story or that narrative, it jeopardizes the group's purpose. It also jeopardizes their thinking that this group has a moral high ground, or even this is the glue, right, that holds everything together. So the truth then is reframed as betrayal. And that's what happened. When Candace came back with some of these answers from her list of things, many people took it on as a betrayal. We supported you. Now you're not hating the same group, or you're not. Listen, it's an investigation. And I don't have time to investigate it. I am watching because I'm curious. And I that was a terrible, horrific thing that happened. And with Charlie Kirk's death. And historically, we have a number of these incidences where we never find out the truth. We still don't know the truth behind Las Vegas shooter and many other incidences. We don't know the truth really behind Trump's assassination attempt. So I think it's great that she's staying on it, you know? And there's another caveat to this, because Candace has been grieving right in front of our eyes. She's grieving. And so, you know, she was like a dog with a bone with this issue, right? And so we have to take that into consideration too. We're watching someone grieve as they investigate the death of a very close friend. So there's that involved in it as well. Cognitive dissonance is physically uncomfortable. So contradictory information activates stress hormones. So this is a biological response. So when she came on the show and started saying, okay, so I got some answers about this. It was a really productive meeting. I felt like she wasn't hiding much. Like, you know, people didn't like that. They had a biological reaction to that. Stress hormones, defense reasoning, rationalization loops. People aren't lying, but they are protecting their nervous system. Status inside the tribe is at risk. So admitting truth can cost your reputation, right? Because I saw it in real time, like people who weren't even watching Candace's show, but were out there saying how terrible she was and lying about what she had said in the context, like making it seem like she was really making accusations when she really wasn't. I watched it. So it was really an interesting contrast with where people were taking what she said. They were taking, the grains of what she said, and then they were blowing it up. They were embellishing it. Like, she directly accused Erica, blah, blah, and that wasn't the case. So it goes on both sides, right? This tendency to kind of embellish, but then your reputation's on it. Everyone remembers what you said. This is the day of the internet. So it makes it really hard to adjust to new information. Modern media intensifies tribal lock-in. Absolutely, because there's reward for it, right? So the algorithm rewards engagement. So if a lot of people like Tim Pool, right, he called Candace terrible names. He's really attacked her. What was that doing though? People were engaging in his comments. They were raging in his comments. Like, I don't think people understand all the time. I think they do when they're when they're in a rational frame of mind, but when they're in a reactive frame of mind, like, your engagement's just pumping out that person's content, right? Bad or good. Every time you engage, you're just helping him get more views on his content. Because don't forget, these platforms, they're all about your time. They're monetizing your time. So they do everything they can to keep you on that platform. I mean, I think it was Larry Ellison that said, we'd like to cure sleep. Yeah, because that would open up another 8 hours of everybody's time where they don't have to sleep, where they would stay plugged into the portal, and then they could charge more for advertising, and they get, it's like, what? It's crazy, man. But modern media definitely intensifies the tribal lock-in. So most people don't reject truth because they love lies. They don't want to be liars. They don't love lies. They reject truth because truth threatens belonging. It threatens identity and safety all at once. The most courageous people are not the loudest truth shouters necessarily. They're the ones willing to risk social comfort for integrity. Truth requires psychological independence, not just intelligence. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Pick your protocol. It's super easy. Each protocol is free shipping and everything you need for anything you're dealing with. Inflammation, maybe you want better hair, nails, skin. Maybe you're dealing with heartburn. Maybe you're dealing with, a joint pain, whatever. We are putting together, and there are tons of protocols on there already. So real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredstore.com. Just head on over there. You'll see a nice little graphic. Pick your protocol. Don't forget you get free shipping with that. And then once you purchase your protocol, book an assessment with me. Just get on there for same website. You can book an assessment. We'll sit down and really walk you through next steps when it comes to your optimum health journey. So head on over there today, naturallyinspiredstore.com. So many people are joining the Naturally Inspired community. I'm so excited about the changes we're making, and I know a lot of you are too. I just really enjoy spending time with you. Okay, so we got another little situation going on here. This I'm gonna warn you. Okay, I've talked about Nick Fuentes before. A lot of people are like, "Oh, Nick Fuentes, he's disgusting. He's so you don't scare me." Okay, he's a young guy. Okay, and he's, from what I've seen, he has some good thoughts about stuff. But everybody, I've been saying this for quite a long time now. The pendulum always swings back, doesn't it? It always does. And I mean, when we were going through the woke firestorm, the real woke firestorm, I feel like people are coming to their senses a little bit now over the last year or so. But when we were in the firestorm of the woke culture, it was insanity, wasn't it? Absolute insanity. I mean, I think we had, children dressing up like cats and using litter boxes. I don't know if that was actually happening, but there was a lot of talk about it. And it certainly felt like it could have been. That's how nuts woke culture got, right? I feel like we're starting to come away from it now because it was absolutely insane. Wasn't it? I mean, it was just insane. So, but when that was going on, I kept saying, don't forget, the pendulum always swings back. And my concern has been that it would swing back too far. And one of the concerns I had was the fact that, man, it's tough to be a white man in America these days, right? Toxic masculinity. I mean, it's tough to be a man in this country because, misogyny and blah, 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 right? All that stuff. You're toxic, you're terrible. Got to the point where we are now where we've lost the balance with our men. Now, I would say 10 years ago, I was never afraid to go anywhere. I always felt like American men had my back. Anything ever went wrong, there was always going to be some guy there that would step in and do the right thing. I don't feel that way anymore. I don't feel that way anymore. And the reason why I think that's happened is because of toxic masculinity. I mean, men have they couldn't do anything right. Hold the door, don't hold the door. Tell you look pretty, don't tell you look pretty. It just, what do you do? They could not win. And so now we're stuck with this yucky model where it's like a lot of men, they're just, you get what you reap what you sow. I ain't helping you. And I don't blame them, because who knows how it's going to be interpreted. That guy saved my life. What a misogynist. I don't know, but it happens, right? Like, it happens all the time. We've seen guys who have taken action against crimes on subways and whatnot. They end up in jail. So I totally understand it, but I'm sad about it. I'm sad about it. I'm sad that men don't feel like they can hold the door for you, because I want the door held. I'm sad that men don't think that they can even give you a compliment, because everybody likes compliments. Makes life a little more pleasant. So I'm sad that we've lost a lot of that culture. And so this next clip I'm going to play for you, it's rough. Okay, I'm warning you up front. It's a lot of swear words and whatnot. But I think it's important that we listen to it, because this, my friends, is the pendulum swinging a little too far back. Here it is. This is Nick Fuentes.
Imagine your wife has a show in the first place. Then your wife is emasculating other men. Tim Pool, by the way, say what you want about him. This guy has been shot at. And I hate to say it, because me and Tim Pool have not had a good relationship, and we disagree on a lot of things. But Tim Pool actually faces the music. He's out there. He was out there facing Antifa 10 years ago as a citizen journalist. He's out there at his compound getting shot at. And he doesn't back down. When he gets shot at, he doesn't go and shrivel up and complain. Who are you? You're somebody's wife? You're some woman? He's a faggot. He's not gay, but he's a pussy. Oh my goodness. Women should not feel so comfortable talking about men like that in public, especially men that are not their husbands. A married woman is going out and attacking other men like this, mouthing off to other men. If I were Tim Pool, I would say, hey, George, can I beat the fuck out of your wife, or are you going to do it? What kind of man will entertain that? What kind of man should even be expected to entertain?
So Nick Fuentes obviously never been in a loving relationship with a woman. And so he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand yet. He's still got some immaturity around what it is to be in love and to love someone and to dedicate your life to someone and build something together. All the things that you learn when you're married a long time. He's got no context for this. And so I think, the pendulum swinging this far back, I can understand how. Young men especially, they see the social media, what social media has done to a lot of women in terms of, very materialistic. I'm not dating any man unless he's a millionaire. Like that generation is like that. It's pretty disgusting. I didn't even think about money when I got married. Like, it never even crossed my mind. Now these girls are like, how much money do you make? You better pay for this. You better pay for that. Like, it's pretty crazy, right? So I understand. I'm not saying that I don't see how this happened, but I think we need to be aware it's happening. It's happening because, listen, Tim Pool, I agree. Tim Pool did some great boots on the ground journalism 10 years ago or more. He covered the Tea Party and stuff. So yeah, respect to Tim Pool. But listen, if you don't treat a lady like a lady, then don't expect a lady to show up in the fight. And Tim did not treat Candace like a lady. He said foul things about her and he attacked her. So if you're not going to treat somebody like a lady, then don't expect that lady to treat you with respect as a man. Duh. Right? Like, you started a brawl. You started a brawl, Tim Pool. And so, yeah. Filthy. He called her filthy names. So, and I don't expect Nick Fuentes to know that. He's in his 20s and he just doesn't have the experience of that. But it would be great if we could build back respect. Because in some sense, like, yeah, I'm not a fan of women that, call men out and like, oh, I'm going to punch you in the face. Like, come here and say that to me. Like, that's gross. First of all, if you're talking like that as a woman, you don't understand your power. That's silly. You're not using your power effectively if you're talking like that, like a loudmouth, like brawling in the streets with men, like you're actually going to win that fight. You're not going to win. No, there's far better ways. There is far better ways. You do not understand your power. And that's too bad. That's too bad. So I understand what he's talking about because nobody likes a loudmouth lady who's acting like a man and being, all up in men's faces. No, there's a relationship that you have to earn though. Right? You have to earn each other's respect. And I don't think Nick understands that. Here's why I'm concerned about this movement in this age of young men. Man, if you're going to talk like that, it kind of aligns with the Muslim belief system. And that bothers me. That bothers me because that could be some kind of unification there with our American young men, right? And this dangerous religion, which is not conducive with the West. We don't want that going on right now. We don't want that. So I think, how do we solve this? Well, we got to really step up our game in modeling, when it comes to good relationships between men and women. And this is, one of the things that I think we're responsible for as women on social media is, this whole fakeness of all the, plastic surgery and all the name brand stuff and the materialism. Like, newsflash, you can have a very fulfilling, happy life without any of that fake stuff. And I think that would actually close the gap and make relationships between men and women better. I don't know, just a thought. We have got to model something because these young people, they're lost. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. This is Naturally Inspired Radio.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
more energy, less crashes or no crashes in the afternoon, fatigue gone, weight loss. I can't even keep track of all the pounds that people have lost now through naturally inspired community. More energy, more love for life, less pain, less inflammation, going to the doctor and being, working with their doctor to get off of medications, better skin, better hair. I'm trying to think of all the different things, better eyesight, better sleep. These are all stories. Okay. I have tons of them on my text line of improvement that people are experiencing through working with me in the naturally inspired community. And you can do that too. All you got to do is become a customer of any of our wellness products. Make a purchase of $50 or more. You get a free membership for lifetime to our partnered product line, and you get to save money on all your wellness products, but you get into the naturally inspired community, and that's where change really happens. It happens through my text line. It happens through our weekly wellness workshops on Tuesday nights. It happens with our interaction, and even just watching the show every day. A lot of people are changing lifestyle because of just watching the show each and every day. So that was the goal, right? The goal is to change the medical model and help people connect to real solutions for health. And we're doing that here every day. You can be a part of it, and we want you here. If you've got any questions about it, just text me 720-303-8868. Let's get to our naturally inspired moment. Today, I think, is a good one, especially. I want to talk about this idea of self-imprisonment. During COVID, we saw this huge rise in obvious censorship. I think censorship to a certain degree on the internet has always been there, especially on social media and stuff. But I think it was undeniable and it was bold during COVID. And that was kind of new for a lot of Americans. And what I noticed is that, people were talking about where's this going. We started learning about digital ID with vaccine passports. We started, learning about where this was all going with the Great Reset. And one of the things people were talking about, it's like, oh my gosh, this is going to be like, are they going to put people in prison, for not taking the shots, or what's going to happen? Right. And I quickly realized, there isn't going to be any prisons because they have quite effectively created a digital prison. Right. Because if you say certain things online, there's going to be repercussions for that. I mean, in the UK, they're showing up at their door, getting arrested. In Canada, they are filtering the news, right? You can't get access to the same news stories in Canada that you can in the United States. So they figured out a way to filter news on social media. So many different things, so many different levels. The algorithm is not organic at all. At all. It's not organic. You have to work the system, jump through the hoops. Don't say certain words, right? Like my favorite. Oh, they unalived him. What are we doing here? We're allowing algorithms to control our language. That's ridiculous. Unalived is not a word. Okay? It's not a word. No, it's not. But people are playing the games because it impacts their business. It impacts their social status, their, whatever. Clearly, I'm not good at playing the game. But I can't bring myself to say, we're unalived. It's just so stupid. But anyway, I learned through that process that people were self-censoring. People will imprison themselves just to be able to get by, right? Oh, I want to travel. Did you really want to take that shot? Or no, but I want to travel. You're buying into your own imprisonment. And that's a scary place to be. So today I wanted to talk about 5 ways people self-imprison and end up not doing what they want. Number 1, they're waiting for permission. So they delay action until approval is given. Conditions feel right. Oh, this is a good one, right? I got to wait till. I'm going to wait until this. I'm going to wait until that. Listen, the conditions are never going to be right. Someone else validates the choice. Oh, I think you should do this. Oh, yeah. They got to get validation from outside. Freedom begins the moment you realize permission's never required. You don't need other people's permission to act and do something. Number 2, confusing comfort with safety. So they stay in familiar routines, predictable roles, known dissatisfaction, because comfort feels safe, but it quietly shrinks your life. And you may not even like the results that you have, but at least they're familiar. So that feels safe. The unknown is too scary. So they don't take the risk, and that ends up shrinking your life. And it can lead to regrets. Let's face it. Number 3, outsourcing authority. They let institutions decide what's normal. Experts replace your own intuition, and trends override your own values. When you outsource authority, you forfeit your agency. I talk about this all the time with doctors. Right? So, I got to do what my doctor says. That's giving over your agency to somebody else. And it makes it like you don't have the authority to make the choices over your own life. Number 4, identifying with the old story. So you keep repeating, that's just how I am. This is how it's always been. People like me don't. Because identity can become a cage, especially when it's outdated. This makes me think about a pattern that I often hear from people, which is like, I've never been the athletic type. Oh, that's not, I've always been a big girl. I've never really been into health or fitness. Okay. But that's an old story, and you can change it anytime. You can change it anytime. And so it's just a matter of making a choice. You don't have to adhere to the old story, because that identity can become a cage, especially when you don't want it to be. You don't want those stories to be the case anymore. Number 5, fear of social consequences. So we'll tend to fear disapproval, being misunderstood, standing alone. That's a deep lesson to learn, social consequences. But man, is it ever freeing. I think I've gone through that several times throughout my life. Not just one time, like not just during COVID, but actually several times. Because I'm just not one to fall in line. And sometimes that's very uncomfortable. And there's a lot of consequence to not falling in line. But there's a lot of reward for it too. Like you have a lot of self-respect because you did what you believed was right and it aligned with your values and your belief systems. Because really, all of the things that we fear, it's just air. When people, there's social consequences because people disapprove. Do you die because people disapprove? Do you lose your house? Do you lose your husband, your kids? Like, do you? Most of the time not, because the disapproval is coming from people who don't seek to understand you. So why do we care about their approval? If you're not even going to take the time to try to understand my position and where I'm coming from, then why do I care what you think? I don't. And that's a great place to be. Being misunderstood? Yeah, you're going to be misunderstood because people actually want to misunderstand you. Again, we can go back to what we were talking about at the beginning of the show, right? With this tribal. Doesn't matter how many facts you give them, they're looking to misunderstand you. It's what they were doing to Candace when they were, making claims that they were embellishing what she was saying and making definitive statements that she did not make because they wanted to, because that was what they wanted to be right. They were seeking to misunderstand her. Standing alone, that's tough. It's tough. Not gonna lie. It's hard being out there by yourself, for sure. But the truth always has a way of coming around. And during COVID and all of the BS around the injections and now look at it. Now look at that COVID shot, right? Everybody knows. Everybody knows. So the truth, it may take 5 years. Not going to say it's happening. It happens fast, but you know what? You can be on the right side of history. Many people were during COVID. Not enough, in my opinion, but many people were. I bet you were. But most prisons are guarded by imaginary wardens, right? The bars aren't locked. They're believed in. Can't do that. Freedom starts with recognizing which thoughts you've mistaken for truth. So important, right? A lot of times, we're imagining other people's disapproval. We don't even know. We might even be imagining that we're standing alone. That happens a lot when I hear from you on my text line. A lot of things I've thought for a long time because I just didn't know. I'm putting stuff out there, and sometimes I hear back from in the early days. Sometimes one or two, I'd hear back from one or two people. Now I hear back from a lot of people. But when I first started, I wasn't hearing back from many people, and so I felt like I was standing alone. Even though, out in reality or whatever, I'd run into somebody and they'd say, wow, I listened to your podcast. I'm so proud of you. It's like, really? I thought I was out here by myself. I didn't ask. So don't assume. And certainly do not build your own prison. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome back. We're headed into the second hour here of Naturally Inspired Radio. My first hour, gosh, the time goes by so fast. My time with you goes by so fast. It really, really does. But in the first hour, if you missed it, if you're just joining us, if you missed it, you got to go back and listen because we're talking about tribalism. We're talking about this whole craziness with Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk's assassination. And also, Nick Fuentes and this pendulum that is, it's an issue here. It could be swinging back too far. You know what I mean? So just some interesting ideas that I think everyone should be looking into, because really we need our country unified. We've got issues, no doubt about it. We've got big issues. And one of those issues is the fact that people say, visitors here come and they say that this country has no culture, right? It has no culture. You don't got a culture there in America. It's just a bunch of mishmash and there is no culture. And so I've been taking a few moments every show to remind you that yes, indeed, you have a culture. It's actually really cool. It's one of the coolest cultures. I think it's the coolest culture. Actually, let's just get that straight. It is the coolest culture. I mean, you think about rock and roll, you think about fashion, you think about all these different things. Where's that coming from? It's all coming from here. It's all coming from America. And so today's topic I want to remind you of your culture is about dance. So, as you know, my baby bird is coming home. She's a dancer. And I was watching her show yesterday, the end of their season show, and how far dance has evolved, right? But it's still, America is still the place that innovates when it comes to dance. And so I just want to share this little clip with you. I think this is back as far as the 20s, okay? This is what dance looked like in the roaring 20s. Look at this. So you guys, that was risque, right? Because that was risque. You should have seen what I watched yesterday, right? Modern dance. Very talented people. It's just a little bit more, a little bit more, I'll say. But nonetheless, America has defined this because in other countries, it was dance was very traditional, right? It was used as a celebratory ritual, and it was very, wear this outfit, do this step, keep it very traditional. There's a lot of rules involved, and of course, America was like, yeah, we're gonna do it. Right? We're going to do it differently, as always, because there's a pattern here, right? American culture around dance is deeply tied to freedom, individuality, innovation, and cultural fusion. So unlike many older societies where dance stays formal and ceremonial, American dance evolved from the ground up, often driven by everyday people and even marginalized communities. And of course, youth culture, right? Where in other countries, it came from, tradition and elders. So core traits of American dance culture: one, freedom of expression. So dance in America is about self-expression. It's about individualism and oh my gosh, why am I having tongue? Improvising is celebrated, especially freestyle, like in jazz and hip hop and whatnot. There's no single right way to move. So you don't, there's technique. And let me tell you, when you're training professionally, they hammer you on technique and getting technique right. But they also really embrace you defining your own style in the dance world. It mirrors America's emphasis on individual liberty. It's born from cultural blending. So American dance is actually a fusion. It has some African rhythm to it, European partner dances, indigenous stuff, Latin and Caribbean influence. This is the thing about America. It's not that it takes on other people's culture. It takes ideas from other places, but it's a total reinvention. And that's one of the core traits of American culture. It's not enough to say, okay, this is the way we did this. This is the way they did it over there. But I've moved to a new place now. And so we're going to reinvent what we were doing. So it's a whole new thing. Dance is a social commentary. So in America, dance often responds to social conditions. So jazz was post-slavery expression. Swing was Great Depression optimism. Hip hop is the urban struggle and identity. Breakdancing was reclaiming public space. Movement becomes a voice when words aren't enough. And America is known for this. Also, community before institution. Many American dance styles start in the streets. They start in clubs and at community gatherings. They're not necessarily defined in academies. It's a grassroots origin that reflects Americans' bottom-up innovation culture. Youth-driven and ever-changing, American dance is shaped by young people. Teen dances of the 50s, the twist, the jitterbug. And then we had MTV in the 80s. And that's when choreography really got developed. And then now, of course, TikTok's kind of a dance platform. I prefer American Bandstand myself. Do you remember American Bandstand? We had a local one. It was called Shake It Up. We had like a local TV station on the island, on Vancouver Island, and you could line up for hours outside of it to get on Shake It Up. And it played on Saturday mornings. You'd go on Friday nights, and then you'd get, 2 seconds on camera on Saturday morning that you could watch. But American Bandstand, I mean, that was cool. Soul Train was also very cool. These are all dance programs that are really woven into, and now we have. Dance has always been there, really, when you think about it, because, remember when Elvis started shaking his hips? That was a huge thing, right? Oh, blah. I don't remember it because I wasn't around at that time, but I remember hearing like my grandma talk about it and stuff like that was real. And then, of course, we have the Rockettes. Right? Like we have a lot of dance influence, actually. It's also, physical independence and athleticism. So American dance emphasizes power, strength, athletic movement, and risk taking. We have this whole genre of like cheer and hip hop and stuff. And it's also from protest to performance. So what begins as a rebellion, like jazz, ends up showing up on Broadway. Hip hop ends up at the Super Bowl halftime show, right? Breakdancing, it debuted in the Olympics in 2024. We won't talk about that. that was a little not that great, but anyway. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. It is a big part of American culture, and it's unique. It's unique here, the way we do it and the way we develop it and the way we constantly support it. I think there's even still a show on right now, like Dancing with the Stars. It's very much an art form and a form of expression that America embraces. And it's one of those things that defines America. Let's get to some news stories, though, because there's some big ones. Oh, my goodness. This one is, a little upsetting. So do you remember what I was saying? And everyone's like, oh, that's crazy. That's not what it is. That's not what it is. Oh, is it? But maybe it is. What am I talking about? I'm talking about AI data centers and these fires along the coastal areas, the ones in Hawaii, the ones in California that, oh, by the way, still haven't been rebuilt, right? These places still have not been rebuilt. And that's a curious thing, right? It's a curious thing. Why haven't these things been rebuilt? Well, let's take a quick look at this clip before we go to break, and then we'll talk about it after. Take a listen.
Square foot AI data center on the edge of the Everglades in Loxahatchee next to Lion Country Safari. And not only is that going to create horrifying pollution to the surrounding Everglades, which is our water supply, but it's also going to be horribly disruptive to that community around it. 3 million square feet. Think about how much life can be in 1 square foot of the Everglades. I'm talking a cypress tree with epiphytes, bugs growing in those epiphytes, fish swimming through the understory, things burrowed below the ground, and they're going to destroy 3 million square feet to build an AI. We don't need it. We don't need it. And they're having the meeting at 9:30 a.m. on a Wednesday. And I woke up, I saw it. I was like, I guess if I left right now, I could go and make it to that meeting. But I have to go to work. I can't just call out of work. I guess I could. But, oh, why are they doing this, man? It's like they're trying to do everything horrible.
And that's just the way they roll, isn't it? Last minute meetings, changed locations. It's all under the radar because everybody's busy going to work. Everybody's busy going to work and making our lives run. And so while that's happening, these data centers and all kinds of things are happening. But I had said before that it's curious to me that coastlines are burning down because data centers. I mean, the infrastructure for AI it's massive. It is massive. What is needed? It is going to suck massive amounts of energy, but it's also going to suck up massive amounts of resources like water. Water is needed to cool these data centers. So stay tuned. We'll chat a little bit more about it, and I've got more stories. So stay tuned. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert Garcia. So glad you're here.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Oh my goodness, do yourself a favor. Head on over to naturallyinspiredstore.com. Get the buy one, get one free liquid BioCell collagen, the immune formula. So that means it has some elderberry in it. It's great for this time of year. But it has the hyaluronic acid and the chicken sterinate in it, which makes this collagen the very best collagen that I have ever used. That is for certain. And many of you know that too, because you've jumped on there and you're like, oh, I got to stock up, because you know this never happens. It never goes on buy one, get one. So take advantage of this deal. I don't want you to miss out on it. I don't want you to wait and then text me and like, hey, can I still get the deal? Jump on it now. So go to naturallyinspiredstore.com and you can purchase the Immune Formula Liquid BioCell Collagen today. Everybody needs collagen. After about the age of 25, you start losing it 1% a year, and then it just accelerates, especially in our 50s here. So get yourself some. So AI data centers, what you need to know about them. Here's a few facts. So a data center is a large industrial facility that houses servers for computing, network equipment for data transfer, cooling systems, heat removal, because you can imagine all of these servers create a lot of heat. And the only way they know how to cool them right now is through water. So power infrastructure, for backup and whatnot, all to house so much of this AI stuff that's coming in. So it has a massive electricity consumption component to it. Data centers are one of the fastest growing electricity users in the US. You're seeing data centers pop up in the middle of nowhere, like in these rinky-dink little towns. Why? Because these rinky-dink little towns have energy surplus. So it's a great place for them to pop up. Not so great for us, right? Not so great for us because it's sucking. I mean, I covered a story maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe it was last week, about electricity bills that are in Massachusetts that are getting up to $1,100, $1,200 just for like a typical suburban house. And why is that? Fees fees that these electric companies are adding on because of the building of the infrastructure that they need to accommodate for a lot of these data centers. And guess who's picking up the tab? You, me. We get to pick up the tab. We didn't ask for any of this stuff, but we're going to pick up the tab on it. Quite annoying. So a single large hyperscale data center can use as much power as a small city. AI-focused data centers use significantly more power than traditional cloud centers due to GPU density. So data centers require constant, uninterrupted power, which stresses local grids and often drives new power plant construction. It is an enormous water suck, okay, which is often hidden. Many data centers rely on evaporative cooling, so a large facility can use millions of gallons of water per day, especially in hot and dry climates. Water is consumed even when the data center serves users thousands of miles away. Digital activity has a physical water footprint, often competing with agriculture and municipal use. Cooling infrastructure, which is non-negotiable. Servers generate intense heat, so cooling requires chillers, cooling towers, fans, heat exchangers. Even brief cooling failures can destroy equipment with hundreds of millions of dollars in it. They have to have backup power and fuel requirements. Every major data center includes diesel generators, large fuel storage tanks, battery banks. Backup generators are regularly tested. Diesel exhaust and particulate emissions affect local air quality. So Clean Cloud still relies heavily on fossil fuel backup systems. Land materials and construction load. Building data center requires large tracts of land, concrete, which is very carbon intensive, steel, copper, rare earth metals, semiconductor manufacturing. All data centers increase demand for GPUs, high purity silicon, advanced cooling materials. I find it funny that, they don't want us using fossil fuels to run our cars, but it's okay if you're building a data center. These people are so annoying and gross. Number 6 is geographic concentration creates local strain. So data center clusters near cheap power, favorable tax policies. I'm telling you, your little towns. But also needs access to water. And so in Florida, it looks like, it's a big place getting a lot of data centers. Massachusetts getting a lot of data centers. I don't know, man. I don't know. Nobody's rebuilding there in California at the Palisades. It's interesting. And I thought that immediately because of what happened in Hawaii too. Also very close to water, right on the shoreline. So I don't know. We'll see, I guess. We shall see. This story irritated me beyond belief. So when I get that irritated, I've got to share it with you because I know, we got to share the irritation here. This is just gross. Listen to this. Didn't you know that Transmilk is women's milk? Ugh. Watch this.
Transgender woman's milk is just as good for babies as breast milk. That's according to a letter from the medical director at University Hospital Sussex NHS Foundation Trust. The claim was made as part of a response against campaign groups. The trust referred to studies and the World Health Organization guidance, including one case which found what it called no observable effects in babies fed by induced lactation.
Gross. Gross, right? So milk production in a man, often called induced lactation. It's biologically possible under specific hormonal conditions. It does not occur naturally. It's about all I needed to know, So lactation is hormone driven, not sex driven. Milk production depends primarily on prolactin, not on on just being female, so you can induce it, right? To lactate, the body needs high prolactin, which stimulates milk production, low testosterone, often estrogen exposure. Okay, that's enough. I'm feeling a little sick. Anyway, they're chemically inducing this. And what are we doing here? Exactly. What are we doing here? This is like, chemically induced. It's not the same, right? It's not the same. It's not going to nourish a baby. Okay. A chemically induced state to produce even this, when you look at the tainted information online or whatever, it even says, it's not going to look the same. It's very thin, right? It's not what they're claiming it to be. So let me just expose you to a little bit of the magic of mother's milk, because I've been through this a couple times at length. And it is a biological miracle. I mean, it's just fascinating. So look at this clip that exposes you to mother's milk and its purpose. Check this out.
So I rarely pump, so I don't really get to see this often, but this is normally what breast milk looks like. It's white, all that good stuff. Nothing out of the ordinary. This is what it looks like when my daughter begins to get sick. So it's a little bit yellow, but not anything crazy. This is when she is sick. It's very yellow. See all that goodness. But this is what really threw me today. Me and my fiance went on a date, and I was gone from her for 4 hours, I want to say. My body made milk with a bunch of water because it assumed that my daughter was dehydrated from not eating for 4 hours. Look at how weird that is. How much our bodies acclimate to what our babies need.
Isn't that fascinating that your body tailors the breast milk for what the baby needs at the time? It's just absolutely amazing, Yesterday we were talking about biology and science and all that stuff quite a bit. And I'm not kidding you. Like, I'm absolutely fascinated by the process of our bodies. Who could have designed that? Nobody's good. No human being's good enough to design that. There's no way. Need I remind you? We can't even make a cell. Right? So, I just found it absolutely fascinating to think again, there's this pattern of, we can synthesize it. We can synthesize, we went through a period of time, I think in the 70s, especially, where women weren't breastfeeding because, they got conned into thinking that formula was better. Can you imagine? That's what they do, though, right? Like, your normal body function couldn't possibly be enough. We need to synthesize breast milk and put it into formula, and that will be better for your baby. No need for you to access your biological function. No. We got it all worked out here for you. We got some powder in a can. It always kind of fascinated me. Like, I understand some women can't breastfeed for whatever reason. That's a whole nother topic. But so I understand, that some people can't. But for those people who, push through, because there is this, theory thinking or culture around it, thinking that, I thought it would just be easy. Like, you just put the baby on there and boom, it all happens, right? It's not quite that easy. When you're getting started, requires a little patience, a little technique, So it's not easy. But for those of us that never gave up on it and experienced it, gosh, I wouldn't give it up for anything. Stay tuned. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. We'll be right back.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Welcome back. Gosh, take advantage of those buy one, get one deals. There's over 30 products on there. Some of my favorite products, especially the immune collagen, that's the real one that I'm like, wow, that is such a fantastic deal. But like there's aloe on there. There's Uplift, which is one of my favorite products. So for stress control, for mood, there's all kinds of, there's whey protein on there. There's all kinds of buy one, get one free deals. So, you know, if you love wellness and you buy all those products anyway, buy one, get one free. Take advantage of it at naturallyinspiredstore.com. Don't forget, when you become a customer, you get into the Naturally Inspired community and you get access to my health text line for comments, questions. You get weekly wellness workshops on Tuesday night and my support, my one-on-one support on my health text line. So it's a no-brainer. You're buying the stuff anyway. You might as well get support and have access to the Naturally Inspired community. A farmer explains a little bit more about erosion. We had Dean Lerwick on from Pumpkin Creek Ranch the other day. He's an ongoing guest. Their family is big into regenerative farming, and what that means is, you're working with the land. It is the way we are supposed to be farming. All this monocropping and dousing in chemicals and, frankly, it's ruining our agriculture. It's ruining our agriculture. It's ruining our food. Soil is life. And we've been poisoning our soil and treating it like it doesn't matter for far too long. And I fear that we're going to have a real nasty wake-up call at some point when our lands are barren because we've poisoned them. So this farmer does a great job. And the contrast here, just the contrast, look at this film or this clip, because the contrast between his regenerative farm and his neighbor's field, you can't argue with it. Watch this.
Cropland field of soybeans was eroded by wind. To the right here, this is my land. It's in perennial pasture. This is a shelter belt tree windbreak to protect the soil. Erosion is soil moving off the field. It can be due to wind, it can be due to water, but we lose the topsoil. The topsoil is gone. We were in my neighbor's field. They had tilled their field, then they had planted soybeans. Then we had 50-mile-an-hour winds for 3 days. Because they had nothing growing there except the soybean, the wind caused that soil, because it was powder fine due to the tillage, it blew away. There's literally 18 inches of topsoil blowing off the fields onto my land, onto my fence row. Plus, we're only seeing a small fraction. Most of it went up into the air and was carried who knows for how many miles. But unfortunately, you see the same type of agriculture. Not only in the U.S., worldwide. It just makes me sick. It literally makes me sick to my...
Yeah, and it's initiatives like that are backed by people like Bill Gates that have contributed to that global infestation of chemicalized farming in other countries and doing damage. Like, it's bad enough we've done it here. Now we take it abroad and just, ruin other land soil as well. Because it's all about, being able to grow massive crops of soy and corn, because it's used in everything. It's used in filler. I mean, if you're not aware of soy, just start making yourself aware of it and say, oh, I'm not going to eat any soy. Start reading your labels. You'll be absolutely shocked where soy turns up. It's in salad dressings. It's in boxed foods. It's filler, and it's everywhere. And so, that's why everybody wants to plant that. And the problem is that we're not supposed to be monocropping. That's not what enriches our soils. It's switching over your crops every year to enrich your soil. It's growing other things, right? And growing multiple things in regenerative farming. Like even on our little 5+ acres here, we have chickens that follow our cows. Our cows are in the pasture. They're on grass. They're, tending to our land. And I have seen a huge difference in the quality of soil. When we moved to this property 11 years ago, there was a lot of dust in our pasture, and it would fly up from time to time when it would get windy. And we just don't see that now. We don't see that now because we move our cows from paddock to paddock, and we move our chickens. And we've got so many animals roaming on this plot of land. We got cats, we got a dog, we got turkeys, we got a goat, we got a llama, we've got, cows. We've got all this life here. And a lot of people think, oh, well, cows ruin your land. No, they don't. No, they don't. They enrich your land. And we've certainly seen that here. So, we also have bees, and we have fruit trees, and we have a perennial garden. And we have massive, it's like a wildlife preserve here in the spring and summer. There's bird nests everywhere. We got owls that live here. And I take that very personally, like we're doing a good job with the land if so many different species want to live here. Hummingbirds, dragonflies, bees, any bug you can imagine, snakes from time to time, little critters, but the cats do a pretty good job with the critters. This is a rich, healthy piece of land. And when we look at this industrialized farming, you just don't see that. There's not even any trees on the land, right? There's not even any trees. So there's nowhere for the birds to live. There's no, there isn't an attraction of flowers there to attract insects. And this is a dangerous game we're playing here because we need food to live. Right? We need food, and we're always being told, oh, we got to produce GMO seed. We got to do this because we got to feed so many people. Do we, though? Why can't we teach people how to grow food in the way nature intended, which is polyfarming? That's regenerative. It's the cycle of it. And it may seem like, well, that's a lot of work and we can't keep that up. And, Dean and I talk about this too. Like one man's regenerative farm in the East is different from another man's regenerative farm in the West, right? Because we're talking about geographical locations here. Our circumstances are different. But there's a way, a much better way, that we can adapt to geographically where we're located and still pour into the soil. People are doing it all over the country. And we got to get serious about this because, like I said, this is our food. This is our food. And if we don't get serious about it, we're going to lose the ability to. And boy, won't you tell, like, do you see the patterns here? Synthesizing everything that occurs naturally, whether it's, pharmaceuticals, it's all derivatives of things that occur in nature. It's just synthesized, a plastic version, a petrochemical version of what occurs in nature. The pattern, the GMO seed, right? Oh, this is a GMO seed that we can patent because the real seed, well, it's not as good as our seed. But yet, since and just yesterday, I picked up something in the store that said bioengineered, made with bioengineered food product. Bioengineered food product. And what is that? Well, we really don't know. It's genetically modified organisms, but we don't really know what. And furthermore, we don't really know the full impact on our health with these frankenfoods. We do know that, when GMOs were introduced, well, we haven't seen an uptick in health. We haven't seen a healthier population since GMOs have entered the food cycle. We know that. We've actually seen a huge explosion of autoimmune diseases. We've seen a huge explosion of mental illness. We've seen a huge explosion in things like diabetes. We've seen a huge, it's just, you can go on and on and on. Nothing's gotten better. And so it makes you think, what are some of these things that we could be rectifying in order to get better results with our health? Maybe we go back to the purposeful, natural way of doing things. I think there's a lot of people that are called back to basics. That's a common phrase that I hear over and have been hearing probably for the last 6-7 years. Like, we just got to get back to basics, We got to get back to basics. We're off the rails with a lot of this stuff. Not are we genetically modifying food, we're killing our soils, but we're augmenting our bodies in a very strange way. I just saw a new surgery that was approved where you can get your hips smashed so that you can widen them. Can you imagine? I can't even imagine, Gosh, I hate feeling sick. Doesn't happen very often. Very, very rare. But I hate being sick. I can't imagine purposefully causing injury to myself and being out for weeks on end on purpose. Just so what? You can have wider hips? Insane, people. We've entered the insane world. I think we're making our way back. Stay tuned for your health topic up next.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
You need guidance, you need support. I got a community for you. It's called the Naturally Inspired Community, and you can get yourself into it just by making one purchase to get started at the naturallyinspiredstore.com. You can also book a 30-minute free assessment with me. Have a little chat, let's go down some history and see where you're at, see where you'd like to be, and how I can support you in that journey. So all the information is there. Just head on over to naturallyinspiredstore.com and connect today, or you can just text me. Just throw me a text. It's actually me, 720-303-8868. Okay, for the health segment today, I'm going to talk about salt, okay, because there's been a lot of questions about salt, but also I want to preface this with, can we just talk about this, okay? Okay. When you decide to head on your optimum health journey, and we've talked about the importance of protein, and we've talked about really keeping refined carbohydrates like bread and pasta and rice and all the stuff that just turns right into glucose into your bloodstream, keeping that down to like very low. It's a high protein, high fat, whole food diet that I'm always promoting. Okay. When you make that decision that you're going to go that route, you can't flip-flop back and forth. If you really want to get results, especially in the beginning, like later down the road, you can eat some of these things from time to time. 85% of the time you do what's right, with high protein, high fat, all that stuff. Maybe 10 to 15% of the time you can veer off the path a little bit, okay? But here's the thing. You can't break that 10 or 15% off into every day. Okay. So like when I say 10 to 15%, I mean 20 plus days a month, you are doing the right thing. And on a few of those days, you may pepper in a piece of bread, or it's your birthday, so you want to have a piece of cake, but you can't pepper it in every day. Because you really want to give your body the chance to have the benefit of a high protein, high fat diet with whole foods. So you have to decide, if you're going to have cheat days or whatever, fine, but stick to those, right? Don't pepper the 10% throughout the whole month. Keep it isolated, compartmentalized into those moments like your birthday, or you want to enjoy those things. Okay. The reason why I'm talking about saying that is because there's a lot of questions about salt, and there's a lot of myths about salt. But let me tell you, if you're eating high protein, high fat, and high carb and high sugar, because you're just kind of like trying to do it all, which you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised because, when you're not fully committed to a lifestyle, that can easily happen. You get a little bit of knowledge enough to be dangerous, right? Like high protein's really good for me. Yes, it is, but not coupled with high sugar and high carbohydrates. You know what I mean? High fat is not necessarily good for you if it's coupled with high sugar and high carbohydrate. Then you've got like the world's worst diet. You're eating it all, So just some awareness around that, right? Like you're dedicated to a lifestyle, and most of the time you do the right things. You eat high protein, high fat, whole food diet, okay? So let's talk about salt. So here's some like science-aligned reasons that salt is actually good for you. Especially, this is relevant for people eating whole food, right? Whole food, high protein, managing digestion, good probiotic, right? And you're trying to restore your metabolic health. This is important. Number one, salt is required to make stomach acid. Many, many times, and I've said this, I don't know how many times on this show, but many times you're told that, you should not have salt, go sodium free. Well, salt is crucial because stomach acid is hydrochloric acid, and chloride comes directly from salt. So adequate salt supports protein digestion, mineral absorption, and pathogen control. Low salt intake can contribute to bloating, acid reflux, heartburn, and poor nutrient absorption. So what happens as we get older? A lot of people, are advised through the allopathic model, go sodium free, right? For your blood pressure or what have you. And then also, you're going to go on blood pressure medication, and then you're going to have to go on GERD medication or PPIs, right? Proton pump inhibitors, because you don't have enough stomach acid. You're being advised to stay away from salt. So that's a big thing that has gone on throughout the decades. 2, salt supports healthy blood pressure regulation. Not what you've been told, probably, right? Salt does not automatically raise blood pressure. Okay. Adequate sodium can lower stress hormones, and low sodium can cause vasoconstriction and fluid imbalance. Blood pressure is more influenced by insulin resistance, and potassium and inflammation than salt alone. Number 3, salt is essential for nerve and muscle function. Sodium is a primary electrolyte for nerve impulse transmission, for muscle contraction, and also for heart rhythm stability. Low sodium can cause fatigue. It can cause weakness, cramping, dizziness, and brain fog. Also, salt helps maintain proper hydration because water follows sodium. Without salt, fluids don't stay in the bloodstream. Proper sodium intake prevents dehydration, headaches, and low energy, especially with exercise or low-carb diets. Salt supports adrenal stress and the stress response. Under stress, the body excretes more sodium. Chronic stress increases your salt need. Adequate salt can reduce lightheadedness, anxiety-like symptoms, and cravings. I always say that when you are craving sugar, you need salt. Okay, so this is why stressed or over-exercising individuals often feel better with more salt. Salt improves nutrient absorption. Sodium is required for absorption of glucose, amino acids, iodine, and some minerals in the gut. So low sodium means less efficient digestion and assimilation. Also, mineral-rich salt contributes to electrolyte balance. Unrefined salts provide trace minerals that support cellular communication. They help balance potassium and magnesium. They improve overall electrolyte stability. It's mineral balance, not sodium avoidance, that supports health. So important. Salt is not the enemy. Now, industrial food is, and it often contains a lot of preservatives and extra salt because a lot of this ultra-processed foods, what they have to do is take the fat out of it, take the flavor out of it in order to preserve it, to be able to give it a long shelf life. And so they'll add a lot of chemicals, things like MSG and whatnot for flavor in ultra processed foods, but it's not, real salt. That's not healthy salt. You get a pinch of Celtic salt, Himalayan salt when it's sourced well is a great one as well. That's what you're looking for, a pinch in your water, making sure you salt your food. When salt comes from real sources and is paired with whole foods, it supports digestion, circulation, hydration, and nervous system health. So it's very, very important, especially when it comes to digestion. I feel like a lot of people were advised to back off of salt, and they're in this pattern of blood pressure medication and then PPIs to control GERD or to control heartburn. And then comes a water pill after that because you're not processing and hydrating in the right way when you don't have enough salt to help your body do that. So it's like a cascading thing. And I'll tell you, I see this over and over and over again, polypharmacy. So you start on one prescription medication and you're okay for a while, and then you start getting side effects from the medication. And you don't even realize that it's a side effect from the medication because you're told, well, you're just getting older. You're just getting older, and so you need this now. Or you're getting older, so you need this for prevention. And really got to be looking up the side effects. You really got to be looking up the side effects to some of these medications, because you'll have these symptoms or signals, as I call them, pop up, and you'll think, oh, this is strange. I don't know, and then you're told, oh, you're just getting older. And no, a lot of times you can go right to drugs.com, or, you can even use ChatGPT now and put the name of your drug in there, and boop, 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 it'll come up with all the different side effects. And you may likely, because I do it with people all day long, every day, you'll come to find out that some of the things you're experiencing, the way your body is signaling, is directly related to some of those prescriptions that you're on. And I'm not giving you medical advice here. I can't ever tell you to stop taking your prescriptions, and I would never do that. That's something between you and your doctor. But I would bring up the conversation, especially if you're able to correlate some of your symptomology that you're having with some of the side effects that are listed on the drug that you're taking. You need to take that into your doctor and say, listen, I'm experiencing all these side effects. We're getting into polypharmacy here, where I'm now medicating side effects from the drugs that you're prescribing me. And I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not comfortable with that. Is there something else we can do here? And then, of course, it all comes back to nutrition, in my opinion. It all comes back to nutrition. Are you insulin resistant, right? If you're eating the standard American diet and you're eating a lot of refined carbohydrates, things like bread, things like pasta, chips, muffins, cakes, pastries, these types of things, then and you've been doing that a long time, and maybe you've got a few pounds on you that you shouldn't have on you, I can guarantee you're likely dealing with insulin resistance. So clean up the diet, right? These side effects are not worth it. They're just leading to more and more side effects, right? You're kicking the can down the road. Root cause. Ask for root cause. I'm sure I'm annoying a lot of doctors these days because they don't like that. But you deserve it. You deserve better. And that's why I'm here. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. This has been Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert Garcia. So glad you joined me.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, Explore documentaries, uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. NaturallyInspiredRadio.com.